going to talk about different types of fish mounts that are out there. There's basically two main types of fish mounts that someone can have to put up on their wall. There's replica mounts and there's skin mounts. Now the differences in these are quite drastic. A replica mount is not a real fish. It's a mannequin that looks like the fish that you caught. A skin mount is, just like it sounds, is the skin and sometimes the head of the fish that you caught. There's advantages and disadvantages to both types of fish. The first type of mount we're going to talk about is the replica mounts. The advantage of a replica mount is, first and foremost, you get to catch and release that fish. This is a popular option amongst a lot of sportsmen, and it's growing in popularity because in recent years the quality of replicas has gone up considerably. The quality of mannequins that the taxidermist orders and the painting methods have changed so that the fish looks much more real than it has in the past. A lot of times, actually, you can't even tell the difference unless you really know what you're looking for between a skin and a replica mount. So first and foremost, you get to catch and release the fish. You may just prefer that the fish doesn't die, or B, it may not be in season, it might not be the right size, it might not be the right species that you're allowed to keep. Or maybe you're on a long camping trip and you have no way to store the fish to get it back to a taxidermist before it starts to go bad. So that would be all reason to get a replica mount. Another advantage of a replica mount would be the longevity of it. Replica mounts don't deteriorate. A skin mount has the potential of doing so. But a replica mount is fake. It's just paint on plastic or foam. So the chance of something going bad with it are very slim. They look good for a very long time. Some disadvantages, though, for a replica mount is, number one, it's not actually your fish. It can be very close to the size of your fish. It's not going to be exact. Because what happens is your taxidermist is going to find a fish as close to the size of your fish that he can. He's going to order that and he's going to paint that to look like your fish. And the other main disadvantage to a replica is it can be considerably more expensive than a skin mount. Replica mounts can be quite costly because the mannequins, though the quality has improved over the years, have gotten very expensive. And they look really good, but you're talking usually $20 to $30 a linear inch. So to put that in perspective, a 20-inch bass will cost you between $400 and $600 typically for a replica mount. Now, if you choose to go with a replica mount, there's a couple things you need to do right away to help your taxidermist out. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a couple of accurate photos right away. Because when you pull a fish out of the water, the color begins to change almost immediately. So as soon as you get that fish out of the water, you want to get a front and a couple of each side of the fish pictures. As quality pictures you can get, and you're going to save those on your phone or camera for your taxidermist so that when he paints your fish, he can make it look as close as he can to the one you caught. Secondly, you're going to want to get a length. You absolutely want to get as close to an actual length of your fish, and if you have the ability to do so, get a weight and maybe even a girth if you can. If you can't do those other two, that's fine. Get a length. That'll help your taxidermist out considerably, getting you a fish as accurate to the size of the one you caught. And then obviously you're going to release your fish back into the water. So the other kind of mount we're going to talk about is a skin mount. The advantages of a skin mount is it's your fish. It's the skin, it's the fins, and sometimes it's even the head of the fish that you caught. So the bonus of that is you are fairly confident that that's going to be the right size fish. You can say that's the actual fish I caught. Just like a deer mount, it's the skin. Just like any type of animal mount, that's the pelt or the skin of the animal you caught. Another advantage of a skin mount is the cost is going to be not nearly what a replica is. I mean, there's some taxidermists out there a little more expensive than others, some that are cheaper than others. But typically you're going to be paying around $12 to $20 an inch for a skin mount, at least in this area. And so basically a 20-inch bass that was $400 to $600 for a replica is going to cost you between $240 and $400. So you can see the cost issue much different. But there is a couple of disadvantages to a skin mount. The first disadvantage and the biggest disadvantage is that fish has to die. There's no way to do a skin mount without killing the fish. So that fish has to come home with you. That fish is going to go up on your wall. That's the main reason why that fish died. There is some cases where you can still get the meat off a fish for a skin mount, but typically that fish is going to be frozen for a while before the taxidermist gets to it. And so you're not going to be wanting to eat that meat. I mount my own fish. So for instance, this walleye I caught, I was able to skin it the same night I caught it, and I was able to eat the meat the next day, and the fish went up on the wall. So there really wasn't any waste. The fish was eaten. I have done skin mounts for myself where I didn't eat the meat. To touch on that a little bit, if it's legal size, if it's legal species, and it's legal season, it's completely your preference if you want to harvest that fish. You're within your rights. People that might scoff at it, it's not their issue. That's your business. If you can live with the fact that that fish had to die to go up on your wall, that's up to you. Typically, that's your choice. And no one's going to give you a hard time about it. They can give you a ticket or anything as long as it's legal. So if you want to put that fish on your wall, you're within the rights to do so. Myself, I prefer skin mounts. I think they look a little better. I like the fact that it's the actual size of my fish, and I'm just more happy with them, and they're cheaper to do. Another disadvantage of a skin mount is longevity. Sometimes there's some fish that are a little more oily than others, especially certain species. Trout and salmon are considerably more oily than warm water fish such as bass, perch, crappie. So what a lot of taxidermists do is they'll put a fake head on your fish, or especially your trout or salmon. What happens is people, when they mount a fish with the real head, over time oil can seep through if the fish's head hasn't been cleaned thoroughly. All the bones have to be removed completely, all the meat has to be removed completely, and the fish has to be tanned correctly, or else maybe 5-10 years down the road you start seeing some oil issues. I haven't had that issue with my fish. If I do a trout or a salmon, I put a fake head on it though. But that's basically the disadvantages of it. So when it all boils down to it, it's completely your preference what you want to do. It's what you think is right, or your choice. I've given you the advantages, disadvantages of both. And if you find the right taxidermist, he or she's going to do a great job. It's going to look beautiful. And most people that aren't avid fishermen or into keeping what they catch are going to have no idea that it's fake or real, or that you could even have the option. With that, good luck out there. Enjoy your pursuits, and catch the big one.